Welcome back to the Spotlight. It's the Creator Spotlight. I'm still Jeremy Lambert. That's still Steven Jensen. And below us, a man you know, a man you might recognize from Andrew Thompson interviews, from post wrestling, the undisputed, undefeated GOAT of this, the GOAT, my man, Andrew Thompson. How you doing, buddy?
Steven and Jeremy, man, I appreciate y'all good brothers having me on, man. I told y'all before we started recording I was gonna spin this into like just some regular conversation. It was gonna fly by, but now, man, I'm glad to be here, man. And it's always great to finally meet you, Steven. And Jeremy, it's always good talking to you, my good man.
We put over our content creators or any creator that comes in here, and I know how well Andrew takes compliments. So this whole thing is just going to be putting him over, and he's going to be deflecting, and it's going to be great. But Andrew's the absolute best. I'm glad you're here, buddy. It's always great to talk to you. And the first question I have is what I kind of ask all the content creators: how'd you get started in this crazy world of wrestling media?
Man, you taking me all the way back. I want to say 2017, early 2017. I remember this is when I was still in community college, and I ain't had shit to do other than my schoolwork. So I've always been a big wrestling fan. So I figured I wondered if I could get into like writing about this. And I remember this website. It was called eWrestling.news or something. I'm probably butchering the name right now, but it's not the I saw it on this website. It was eWrestling.news, and I remember the guy had just gave me opportunity to write feature stories. And I remember my first feature story that I ever wrote was about 2017 Royal Rumble's prediction article. And like this was back when my fandom, when I thought Sami Zayn was gonna be WWE's next big baby face of all time, and he was gonna win the world title. And I had fantasy booked this whole thing. And then I remember right after that I had started doing news for a website called eWrestling News, but not eWrestling.news. It's two separate things. And it was a guy who wrote for the site, who owned the site, named Frank. And honestly, bro, like if it wasn't for him, like I really don't think I would like be writing about anything wrestling related right now, because I had absolutely zero experience, and he sort of just took a chance on me and like gave me a shot, because like he let me, can I curse on here? Is that okay?
Yeah, for sure.
He let me like fuck up, like, and I fucked up like a lot because I didn't know what I was doing. Like I was like, it's funny because I know I talked to Jeremy about this. Like throughout the years, we talked about like people like crediting and HTing people for the transcriptions. I used to be that guy that was like taking people quotes with no credit, no nothing. And like I remember I just kept like after a while kept messing up, and then I eventually got it. And I still talk to Frank like I'm gonna say couple of times a year, and I just always like shoot him like a thank you text, because like if it wasn't like, cause he could have honestly like booted me the hell off his site like off the first mistake, but he just kind of let me keep doing my thing, and he just gave me a shot and allowed me to meet the wonderful people that I met at Fightful, of course, and then of course the people that I met at Post Wrestling as well. So yeah, I owe a lot to him, and I always try to shoot him a reminder every once in a while.
Yeah, it's funny because I've known you through Twitter for years, but this is the first time that I just realized that. I was like, is this the first time we've done something on camera together? It is, now that I'm thinking about it. That's wild. But I remember going through similar types of things when I was starting with like, because my background had nothing to do with journalism or anything like that, so I didn't know either like how you're supposed to credit things correctly. So I mean, just kind of like I was the same way. I was just a big wrestling fan, just kind of found my way in through writing and podcasting and stuff, and then the next thing you know, you're just kind of learning these things. What was your like? Did you have any kind of background in journalism, or is this strictly something similar to with me, where it's like the passion of just like being a wrestling fan, and you just kind of found a way to get into it, but didn't really expect to be like writing about wrestling and that kind of stuff beforehand?
I think it's like a mix of both, because when I was in school it was in mass communications, but I was more so on the behind the camera type thing. Like I really like doing like the audio stuff and setting up cameras and editing. Like that's kind of like my thing, or what I really enjoy doing and what I still enjoy doing. But I kind of just like found myself into it, and it was more so just out of curiosity. Like I was just looking for places where I could write, but I was like aware enough to know that I couldn't like go to like some of these like top flight sites and just be like, hey, I have no experience, let me write on your site. Like I knew I couldn't do that, so I had to like take my pick of the meal and see what was out there and see who would give me a shot. So yeah, I definitely think it was more so the latter, what you just said. I kind of just like walked into it, I guess.
How'd you get started with Fightful? Because you were here when I joined on, and you mentioned you're in community college. When I joined on, you were still in college, and
yeah, I was
you were doing the weekends.
Yeah.
And I was always super impressed that like you go to school all week, and then the weekends you're banging out like 300 articles and getting everything done. And I was like, does this man not sleep? And turn out you don't. Nobody at Fightful, but we just don't. We run on. Sean likes to joke that we all run on crack.
That thing's still in me, man. It's still
yeah.
in me. It's still
But
in me,
I was
bro.
like, oh my God, like he's doing all this. Like this is really impressive. But like, how did you get started with Fightful doing news for the weekends with them?
Okay, so this was when I was writing for Lords of Pain at the time, and I remember I had finished up with them, and it was just a thing of like, for bro, I didn't want to be in college and like be like reaching out to them, like my people asking for like money and shit like that. So I wanted to make sure I could like make my own money, do what the hell I want to do when I was in school. So I remember I reached out. Because I mean, at this point, I was like looking at Fightful for a minute. Like I want to say for like at least 5 or 6 months. Like I had been eyeing it, but I knew I had some experience that I could at least throw at Sean. Like I couldn't, like I knew I couldn't just come out there and just be like, hey, you know, we'll take a chance. But I had to make sure I had some experience under my belt. So I remember I went to him and he put me on a trial basis at first. And then I remember I was like, you know what? Put me on a trial basis. I'm gonna bang this motherfucking trial basis. I'm going hard. As soon as he give me any type of access to the site, I'm going crazy. And like I remember everything just went real good. Like of course, like even when I was first started that fight, I made some, you know, but not even a little bit. I made a couple mistakes, man. And I was like, Sean he was always real cool about it, and you know, just told me, hey, you should do this and do that, and try to fix certain things here and there, and you know, plug little things in this spot, and maybe you should do this instead of doing that. And like some of that stuff that he sort of told me early on, but like really still like carried on to the same thing I'm doing now. So yeah, from that point on, it just kind of went. So I started. I remember the first article I wrote for Fightful was a Titus O'Neil article about him doing something, and yeah, that's kind of just went from there. It was February 2018, and then I remember Jeremy. I first met you when we first started like communicating. We first started working together. Was if I remember correctly, it was when it was a Triple Mania show that night. I think it was a Saturday, and we started working together, and then like. I think me and Jeremy kind of got the groove of how each other work. I would probably say like SummerSlam 2018.
Yeah. Oh, definitely by SummerSlam.
And then shit just it just went from right there. It only took a little bit of time.
I will once again put you over because the biggest thing I learned from you out of everything was like work ethic when it came to this stuff. Because you went to college all week and then you came on the weekends, banged out all these articles. You were helping out with the late shows as well, like Raw and SmackDown and any type of I think that was all there was back then. Maybe NXT, they taped shows and everything. AEW wasn't a thing at this point. But like I saw how crazy. Hard. Yeah, I know. I saw how hard you worked, and then I was completely new to like news writing. I had done like features. I never really did news writing, and I saw how hard you worked, and I was like, I got to work that hard because this is sort of, I felt the expectation here. And if I don't work that hard, if I don't keep up with Andrew, then they're going to fire me. And again, put you over. I made a bunch of mistakes at first, and Sean always talks to me about it. And I took it very hard. Yeah,
I was right with you.
Like I took it very hard when I made these mistakes. Like I'm fucking up. They're gonna fire me. And you were always right there to be like, don't worry about it. It's cool. Like we all mess up. I mean, to this day, we still mess up. We write a lot. There's a lot of like errors and stuff. Maybe we just mental lapses and whatnot. Like we read a lot and it's like we forget something. But you were always there and supporting me of like, don't worry about it. Like you did what you needed to do. It's fine. Like anybody talking shit, fuck them. Like you work hard. Like it's good. You're always in my corner on that stuff.
But you want to know what, real quick, something I want to tell you that I always appreciate that you did. Like when I came on the weekends, because like I'm not gonna say I would be tired because I'd be energized. Like it wasn't like I was like beat up and stuff. But like one thing I always appreciated was like you would leave like you were filling those gaps for me, like in terms of like time wise. So like I wouldn't have to like worry about, okay, I got to fill out at 8 o'clock, at 9 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, and 11 o'clock. Like you would have like half of that shit blocked off, so I could just like worry about like the instant stuff, and then like I would be able to in return the favor to you on the weekdays when I was gone, and then I could like I mean when I was gone, and I could just fill in those gaps for you, so you wouldn't have to like wake up at like the fucking crack of dawn and like they it ain't shit on the site. You know what I'm saying? You ain't had to worry about it. So like I kind of like that little tag team dynamic. And the funny shit was we never had to say that shit to each other like ever. Like it was never a thing where I had to like actually hit Jeremy and be like, hey bro, can you fill this thing out for me? I would check the site when I come on finish my school stuff, and it would just be like shit on the site. I'd be like,
if anything, you would be like, can you leave this open for me so like I can make sure like I can put something there. Like, that's what it would be. And I'd be like, hey, can you like leave 9 o'clock open? Like I'll be up. I'll take it. Yeah, can you leave like 3 o'clock? I'll be okay, cool. Yes, we worked very well with that.
And real quick too, Steven and Jeremy. Like one thing I do want to say is I always appreciated that. Like you and Sean, like y'all will always be like, because I think at this point it was just us three. Like it was like that was it. Yeah. Like it was just me, you, and Sean. And I remember like I would always appreciate like how like when like because like it would be some days, bro, like when the schoolwork would just be like, I'd be like, Jesus fucking Christ, like it'd be papers on top of papers. But the one thing I always give y'all credit for is y'all never, now I'm talking about not once ever, like when I had some like big school related, like y'all never was like, hey, we need you to do this, you do this, can you take a break from school, or like you take a break from your work? Like y'all, I'm talking about not once did y'all ever say or do anything, even I'm talking about not even hint at it. Like y'all will always take care of your business, come back, whatever it is, midnight, whatever the fuck it is, whatever time you free. And like to this day, I always, and that's why I'm still like real tight with you and Sean to this day. Like I always appreciate it. Like it was that little stuff that like sort of stuck out. Like I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but like now that I like, you start to look back and stuff, like I always appreciated y'all doing that. Like y'all looked out big time.
You did the same, Jensen. I'm sorry.
You're good. Go ahead.
You did the same because I had a lot of personal stuff going on through the time that you were there, and I wasn't always the happiest in my relationship. And my ex was going in and out of the hospital and everything, and I was like, I can't do like what do you want me to do? And same thing, you were always there, like don't worry about it, like take care of your family, take care of your business, everything. And Sean was the same way, and we always just tried to find ways to support each other and realize that this wrestling shit ain't the most important shit in the world. Like we have other stuff to do. And again, that is why I always talk to you, and that's why fuck Sean Ross Sapp, but that's why I still work with him. All right, sorry, Jensen, go ahead. I told you we were just gonna put each other over a bunch on this show.
This happens a lot depending on who the guest is. Like sometimes I just go on and on. I find like a YouTuber I like, and it goes for like, and I know Jeremy's just sitting there like trying. I'm like I gotta get my stuff in though, or else I'm gonna forget. You're giving a lot of really good insight though. I mean, I have people ask me often, and I see people just like tweet about it. Even earlier today, there was something that a few of us were tagged in that one of the comments was like, I really want to work for Fightful one day, and I know that a big part of what this is just advice to people that are listening to this that want to get a foot in the door, not just here, but anywhere doing anything like this. I know Sean's this way for sure, is having something to show. Like when you ask, like you were saying, Andrew, like you had a body of work that when you were prepared. So when your time came and the opportunity presented itself, you were ready and you had something to show and they were able to give you that chance and you knocked it out of the park. Do you remember by chance, like when you talked to Sean the first time, do you remember what you sent him as like your kind of like your work for him to look at?
So if I remember correctly, I remember it was just I had DM'd him and asked him if there was a position open, and then like it was like just small talks back and forth, like it wasn't anything like concrete right off the gate. And then I remember he had hit me back, I'm gonna say like a week or so later, and then he asked me to submit like just like web pages of like work that I had done. Like it was just a bunch of articles. So I just sent them like stuff I had did at eWrestling News, like feature stuff that I had written, and of course the workload that I did at Lords of Pain too. And like I just sent them all that, and I think it was good enough that he was like, hey, we can work something, we can do something with this, and like it just kind of went from there. So yeah, I think that was like it was probably like I want to say like a 2-week process maybe, like because I know the first week I had hit him up and it was kind of like I mean like with anybody I could tell like it was like more that feeling out process type thing. And then like after I got sent him my work and stuff, I think he kind of was like, okay, Like I think we could work with this. We could do something with this type of thing.
Yeah. That once again, I think that's really good advice for anyone that's listening right now that wants to pursue this. Is no matter where the outlet is, like if you can find somewhere to like just start getting experience writing, just if you have just start podcasting. If you have an iPhone, you can make a podcast. Like, there's no excuses nowadays. Like you might have 0 listeners, but who cares? Because like maybe one day you meet the right person who wants to give you an opportunity and they go, hey, do you have any podcasts that I can listen to so I know what you sound like? I do. No one's listening, but here you can see what it is. And you never know what can happen through just working and then the right opportunities coming together. And I know things have worked out great for you. I mean, with Post Wrestling, how did you get in with those guys?
Yeah, man. Big love to John and Way, man. Those my dudes right there. But I remember when I remember when I first hit up John. I think I sent John a message, right? And I know he was real hesitant about like bringing like another, right? Because it was like it's always been like, I'm talking about like just on the news front, it was always him, and like it was just him and Way on the like audio stuff. Like, cause they had like other audio play, other guys on the site like Davey Pullman and Braden Harrington and like a bunch of other guys that came over from the law, the live audio wrestling. But like I'm talking about just strictly on the news front, it was just John. So I know he was kind of like, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know, man. Like, he was being courteous about it, but like I could tell like it was that like hesitancy there. And I remember this was the day when I first started contacting him. I think it was like August 2019, and I remember I was at the basketball court and I sent him a message. I was like, look, because this was after we had made that initial contact, and I was just like, look, give me one chance. That's all I need. Just give me like one day or like whatever. Like, because I know they did the news update. I was like, let me do one news update. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna put you on a trial basis. I was like, repeat. Here we go. History. Here we go again. Right. Here we go. So I remember I started writing the news update for that Monday, Sunday. I'm gonna say Sunday afternoon, bro. I had 25 pages worth of notes. Like I'm talking about like transcriptions from just links to like different interviews that I really didn't find anything like important in. Like it was just like 25 pages full of notes. And I remember I sent it to John, and then I had it right. I remember when he sent it back, he was like, this is great. I was like, I got his ass. I was like,
nice.
I was like, and then yeah, man, it just kind of went from there, man. So it was real cool, man. I love when I'm doing that post, man, and everybody over there is real cool, treat me real well, and it's real cool, man. So I always think about that now, like whenever I like do a podcast with John and Way, I always bring that up because that was like a little funny moment. Because I don't know like what Way said on the situation, but I know John was kind of like so sort of hesitant, because and I get that aspect, because like when it's always just this core group of people, and then like you're trying to bring somebody else in and you don't know exactly how it's going to turn out. Because if it was vice versa, I would probably be the same way. I'd be like, well, it's always been me, so like I don't know exactly how you would fit into the equation. So I'm glad he I'm glad I sent them that like that basically that little that whole essay of notes, man, and it got me in the door.
Because they don't know from either perspective, right? When it's been mainly like a core group of people, they don't know how you're going to interact internally with them, exactly. And you also don't know what the perception from the audience is going to be, because they might be like, "Hey, this isn't John Pollock. Like, what is this?" You know what I mean? Like, so, exactly. But it worked out great. So, I mean, that's awesome how things have turned out. And I love hearing that you're loving working over there with those guys. That's awesome.
Appreciate you, man.
I will say, if you're not reading Andrew's news updates, do it, because there's tons of news that you're not going to find anywhere else, and unless everybody else is taking from it, as they will do, and hopefully giving you credit, because we know the battle of the transcription credit. We've been there many times, both of us, yelling at different people of like, can we get some credit on the transcriptions?
Hey, Jeremy, I had to go lie to you, bro. I think I done gave up, bro.
I gave up too.
I gave up.
I 100% did. It used to be a big battle of like,
I know, right?
They're taking this transcription. Okay, who do we email? And now it's just like, oh, they're not going to listen. So whatever. I'm just going to keep doing my work, and that's that. Like, yeah. The funny thing is, what's up, Jetson?
Well, I was going to see if you guys wanted to make any call outs. Like, who's Who
no.
do you usually have to go after about it?
I won't call out Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer for never giving any type of transcription credit in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. I won't do that. Okay. The funny thing is like people get mad about like, and I don't know if you've experienced this, Andrew, but people will get mad like, well, why should you get credit for this? Like, oh, you just listened to it. You didn't do the interview. Why should you get credit for this? That's the worst one, because what people don't understand is like a lot of these people, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You can share your own story on this, but like a lot of the like interviewers and stuff, they will reach out to us and be like, hey, thanks for covering my shit. Like, I appreciate that. And a lot of people don't actually know that, while all these other idiots online are like, why should you get credit? Why should you get a link back for this? It's like, no, the person who actually did the interview appreciated that this was covered by us. So maybe that's why we should get a little bit of credit, because they appreciate it. So you should appreciate it.
No, there are like quite a few instances of like people who like they'll question why like the site or the individual who transcribed is getting the credit, or the site is getting credit. And I'm like, it's because like transcribe the interview. Like that's kind of it. Like, I don't think it's like anything behind it or anything more to it. It's just kind of be transcribed, and then like at the end of the day, it's like a beneficial type thing. Like, we getting credit for doing the work, and you're getting credit for people so that, like, they know where this came from, and you got your link back to your podcast or to your YouTube or whatever it may be. But yeah, you always got your few. But like for real, bro, like most of the time, it's like it's mostly positive, to be honest with you.
It
like
is.
You know, because you got people like who will be. Some people will be like very thankful that you're like covering their stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll send you an email or shoot you a DM and be like, hey man, you know, I appreciate you doing this and woo 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 and this, that, and the other. And like, that stuff is always cool, man. Cause like you helping somebody out, and then by them signal boosting you, they helping you out. You know what I'm saying? So it's most of the time it's positive, but you definitely do got your select few out there who kind of, you know,
they don't understand how it works. They don't think that transcription work is actual work.
We can move that conversation along, man.
Well, let me talk about your interviews, because you've got your own YouTube channel, Andrew Thompson Interviews. I mean, I have seen your process in work at StarCast many years ago, and how you were taking notes on your phone, getting all your questions down and everything. And you've interviewed some top people. I remember when you went to the first StarCast in Vegas, you did the interview with Nick Gage. I'm pretty sure you're in DK.
All time.
Yes.
All time. Hey, Steven, let me tell you something, bro. When Nick Gage is probably, when I say the definition of get to know somebody before you even make any assumption. I'm talking about even the slightest assumption of somebody. Like, I remember this dude. I remember I went up to Nick Gage, and I wasn't expecting him to be like mean or nothing like that. Like, I was expecting him to be like chill, but like this dude was like, hey man, you know, he came over and pulled me a chair up. Was like, you want to sit down, and you know, you can do the interview. And he was real cool, man. I remember I seen him at a show later that day, and he recognized me and gave me dap me up and all that good stuff. Nick Gage is probably like one of the coolest people like that I got to interact with and wrestle. So I just wanted to mention that, because I was I wasn't surprised, but it was more so just one of those things. I wasn't expecting him to be as nice as he was. Not saying that he isn't nice, but just wasn't expecting that level of nice that Nick Gage is. So yeah, shout out to Nick, man.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know if I told this story before on this show or not, but I saw Nick Gage wrestle years back in a high school gym. So like he couldn't do a lot of. It was like a high school charity event, so he couldn't do a lot of the stuff that has made him famous in that building in front of children. But it was so wild, because at the end of the show, when all the wrestlers got all their merch out and stuff, and they're doing the autographs and meeting the fans, Nick Gage had the longest line of child fans of anyone in that building, times probably 20. I mean, it was like all the kids were there. They love that guy. I mean, it's just like the authentic, because he's one of those guys that makes you feel like he's everyone's best friend. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you meet Nick Gage, like, yeah, me and Nick, we're boys, and like everyone feels that way about that. So that's cool hearing that you had the same kind of experience with him, because for people on the outside looking in, you see this dude cutting people's foreheads with pizza cutters, and then you're like, what's going on? And you hear the stories and stuff about his past, and like he's actually like a really, really nice guy.
He is though, like he really is. Nick Gage is cool as hell, man. For real. Shout out to Nick. I don't know if I'm MDK. I can't claim MDK. I don't want, you know what I'm saying? Because I only met him one time, so I can't stamp MDK on me, but Nah, man, shout out to Nick Gage. Nick Gage is definitely a cool dude.
Your interviews again. You've interviewed Nick. You've interviewed Leo Rush recently. Jeff Jarrett. Who are some of your favorite interviews, and who are some people who like this is a bucket list interview that I want to knock down at some point in my career?
Man, like probably some of my favorite, or some favorite interviews that come to name. Like I'm talking about which ones that have been like hella smooth. I probably say like Savannah Evans from Impact Wrestling. She's a real cool person. I'm trying like Jeff Jarrett was funny as hell to talk to. The ultimate bag chaser Jeff Jarrett. Shout out to that man. Ultimate bag chaser Jeff Jarrett, man.
He's doing it though. He's doing it.
All respect to Double J, man. All respect to him. He's gonna be taking over the Fed real soon. I'm convinced of it. But I'm trying to think of like just other people that have been like real great to interview. It was real cool to interview Shane Thorne, Shane Hayes. He was real cool to talk to. Mikey Nichols. Chris Hero. I don't know how I forgot about that. Shout out to Hero, man.
Chris Hero gave you the big shout out afterwards.
Yeah, that was very, very unexpected. So yeah, shout out to Chris Hero, man. Like it was a real that was something like I was very, very overwhelmed seeing all the responses and stuff like that. Like I almost wanted to like just tuck my head in and go to sleep and like it was so many like different notifications and stuff like that. So that was real cool. Shout out to Hero, man, for that. And like it sounds like bucket list interviews, man. Like when I'm thinking about people like I would love to get on the channel, like it's probably like Amazing Red. I would love that. If I had to like literally, if I had my pick of the meal of anybody I could interview, like just that, in terms of people that like haven't like been in the media that much, it'd probably be Amazing because I feel like he got like one of the best stories, but I haven't really seen him do any much interviews, and I honestly don't know what even contact this dude. I feel like you gotta like show up to a House of Glory show to like even get like sights on this man. Like I don't even know how you go about reaching Amazing Red. I would love to interview Jackie Moore from the WWF.
Yeah.
I would love to interview her. I'd love to catch Bret Hart one time. I think that'd be real cool.
You just want him to bury. You'd ask him one question and he'd bury Goldberg. I already know your game on that one.
Get the clicks. Like
Yep.
I'm just playing, man. Maybe I'm playing. I don't know. But nah, man. I would love to talk to Bret Hart. I think that'd be cool. Like it's funny you say that, but because I know you know, Jerry, because you in the news beat just like me, man. Like Bret Hart, but he isn't even half of the time. He isn't even like provoked to like speak about Goldberg. He just does it.
Yep.
He's just like, but he'll be talking about something like completely unrelated to Goldberg and tie it back into Goldberg somehow, some way, and just like shit on him.
You can ask him about like any wrestler. You just throw a random wrestler out there. Like, hey, what was it like working with Aldo Montoya? It's like, oh, Aldo Montoya, just incredible. It was great working with him. Never injured anybody. Unlike that prick Goldberg.
Yeah.
Like, that'll be his answer.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is, bro. But like, I would probably say Goldberg. Not Goldberg. Bret Hart. Bret Hart, Amazing Red, Jackie Moore. I would love to interview Naomi. Trinity Fatu, it would be really cool to interview her. There's a bunch of people that I could probably I'll probably think of like as soon as we cut the camera off and like interview, like a bunch of these names come to the head. But like, you wanna know what? You wanna know somebody I would really love to interview, bro? Too Cold Scorpio. Yeah, I really want to interview Too Cold Scorpio, and I hope I can make that happen one day. I want to do one with what's the guy from Noah? I don't remember. I'm botching his name right. Go Shiozaki. I wanted to interview him. I tried to set something up with him, but I think it kind of fell through because of the Cyber Fight Festival, and it was like a whole bunch of stuff going on, and he was busy. He was the fucking world champion, so like he probably ain't had time to do it. But I hope I can like set some type of written stuff up with him one day. That would be real cool. But yeah, there's a bunch of people I would love to talk to, man. But it's so many different wrestlers that like haven't had their like stories told like in depth, who I would love to like just sit down and like just dive into and all that, and whether that's an in person or over like a Zoom call.
We just listed out some of my favorites. Like I would love to hear an in depth with Amazing Red. He was like the reason I got into indie wrestling back in like the early 2000s. He was like, I found him through like LimeWire and Kazaa video and stuff like that. Yeah, man, that long ago, which is so crazy. Do you have any other like just like favorite wrestlers you want to throw out there? Just like for if somebody's like new to your work or like just getting to know you a little bit as a wrestling fan, like who would you say are like some of your favorite wrestlers that like inspire you or really made you become like a real big wrestling fan for life?
Like if I had to just think of like, so like I'm gonna be completely honest, like that sort of like inner fandom, like I'm talking about like deep childhood fandom for me, like goes back to like I would probably say like The Rock. That's probably like one of my favorite, like because like that whatever, like The Rock, it's like that childhood like core memory stuff for me. So like I think that's why I always like hold The Rock in like this like high regard. But in terms of like just like work rate wrestlers, like the first like outside of like WWE exposure that I had was TNA, and like AJ Styles was like that guy that like immediately like stood out to me like right off the break. And like I didn't get into wrestling like outside of like that TNA WWE bubble. I'm gonna say to like 2016 probably. Like I didn't like watch that much of anything, and then like around that time, like that's when I started catching up on the New Japans and the Ring of Honors and all this different stuff. And like I started going back and looking at all these different type of stuff, and eventually caught up. So like, it took me a hell of a long time, but I eventually caught up. And like probably one of my favorite matches that I like go back and like I'll try to watch every now and then. It was from 2018. It was Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kota Ibushi. I think it was Power Struggle 2018. And bro, I don't know why this match like sticks with me so much, but it's like one of my favorite matches like of all time. And it's not even anything crazy. Like they don't even do anything crazy. It's just like the most simplistic storytelling that they do throughout this match that like it hooks me. And like I think I sort of the reason I think so highly about it is because maybe I probably brushed up a little bit about it, like I'm talking about probably like in the months leading up to it. I sort of watched this respective journeys like lead up to this bout or something like that, and maybe that's why I really don't remember, but I know that's one of my favorites. But yeah, man, it's so much different wrestling you could keep up with these days. Like I'm really enjoying like AC Mack. I'm really enjoying the stuff he's doing right now. I got the chance to interview AC. He's a real cool dude, man. So shout out to him. I was that match he had with Alex Shelley at the Southeast First show.
Yeah, Atlanta near Atlanta. Yeah,
bro, I could not believe the way that crowd like just completely denied Alex Shelley of any ovation. Like they treated this man like he was like the worst villain. But that I think that was just because like AC Mack, like that was his like that action wrestling space. That's him. So that was a real cool thing to see. And one thing I like about the IWTV is the Mass Wrestler series.
Mm-hmm.
That's real cool. I feel like that's so different. Like it is so like I feel like that's one of those concepts that could be around for such a long time. And I hope that like they'll be able to get some like not that they need like any like mainstream names in there, but it would be like cool to see like, you know, some other like big names from like a AEW or whatever, you know, saying get involved in it. I think that'd be cool. But like, yeah, it's so much different wrestling you can watch these days, man. And yeah, it's been cool to sort of catch up on everything over the last, you know, 6-7 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to AC Mack retaining the IWTV Championship last night over Atticus Kogar. So good. Yeah, he's killing it. Friend of the show, AC Mack. He's been on with us before. Good, very good guy.
He won the title. Yeah.
I see him all the time around Atlanta at shows. Like he's always like in the crowd, just hanging out like Battle Slam and Terminus and stuff.
That's cool.
Like he's cool.
Man, Baron Black and wrestling promotion. That's real cool. It's real cool to see what they doing, man. And Baron Black. I saw Baron got his he broke that damn streak.
Oh, he finally won on AEW.
What was that? 0-50, I think it was.
Something like that. Yeah, like
Jesus,
50 something. But yeah, I'm hoping to be at Battle Slam this Thursday. He's in wrestling Little Scrappy. So
tonight, Steven Jensen.
What? Tonight, tonight at the time of when this airs. Yes, that would be tonight. Good call.
Little Scrappy making his because Little Scrappy he wrestled. I think he wrestled before.
I don't know. He hit a pretty nice rock bottom on Baron at the last show though.
He did. I think he did the what's that promotion in Atlanta? I think it's called Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment.
Oh, okay.
I think he did like a tag. He tagged with like Stevie J at one of those shows. So yeah, I think this is like his second match. But yeah, Little Scrappy, man, from love and hip hop to the wrestling ring. I can't believe it.
Yeah, that's wild. Jeremy, I know we always have a question that we ask to wrap the show up. If you want to go ahead and ask it, or if you have more, go ahead. But I don't want to forget to ask we have a very important question we ask everybody before the end of the show.
Andrew, what is the coolest thing you have in your room?
That's the money question.
Damn. The coolest thing I got in my room? I don't know, bro. That's a good ass question. Now you're making me think.
See, this is where we get everybody. They're not expecting it. They should watch the product and then they'd expect it. They come prepared.
But the coolest thing I probably got in my room, I would say, is this. Damn, that's a good ass question. When do y'all even come up with some shit like that? Like who thinks? Like,
we asked who? Jaden? Was it Jay or Cole?
It was either Cole Radrick or Jaden Newman. We asked.
Yeah,
first.
I think it was Cole.
I think it was Cole. Cole Radrick had some like basketball
yes.
artwork on his wall, and Jeremy was trying to get him to talk about it. I think
I saw it and I was just like, what is that piece of artwork? And I was like, do you have any other cool stuff in your room? And then the next person we had on, I was just like, hey, what's the coolest thing in your room? And then that's become our closing question for all of our guests.
You want to know what? I was going to say this. I got this little fucking like Everlast like boxing thing like I never use. So like God forbid if I had to get another fight these days. I ain't been fighting since I was like a teenager. So God, I ain't used that thing in years. So Lord, I hope the Lord looking over me. But I would say probably the coolest thing. Right, real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, you're good.
I would say the coolest thing that I got in my room is this. I bought this. I bought this from this. I don't know if you can see it. It's like this painting.
Yeah.
Like I got it from this dude off the street, and he was like selling this like his paintings out like the back of his truck or something like that. And I remember like I don't know, it just seemed real cool, and he was like an upstart artist, and he was like just like he told me that he was trying to like find his way like in the art field and stuff like that. So I just went in there and like paid for one, and I was like, I hope you get famous, and then like he signed it for me. So I was like, if you get famous one day, like remember I was like one of your like first 10 purchases. But like this is probably like the coolest thing. Like I got this thing like on my wall, and like I don't know, it's just real cool. I like seeing people in their little not little, I don't know why I said that, but like people on their like come up story, and like when they trying to find their way and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully that dude become famous, man. Brother, wherever you are, I hope you killing it right now. I hope you like in some like fucking art gallery in like New York or some shit like that. You just battling it, and like yeah, when this thing like sell for millions. Remember who was right here. But nah, this probably like one of my coolest things in my room right now, I'd say, because it's like I don't know. I don't know. I just think that stuff is cool, like seeing people on their grind, and then like I don't know if he was just like a smiley type of dude, but like I could tell like it made him feel good to like, hey, somebody purchased my work, you know what I'm saying? And he signed it for me and stuff. So I was like, all right, but that made me feel good, and it turned out to see him, you know what I'm saying? So that's probably my favorite thing in the room right here, in my boring ass room. Thanks for calling me out, y'all. Appreciate it.
This is a great story that we wouldn't get if we didn't ask this question.
Yeah,
so that's a great story.
You have great feelings and memories about doing that and getting that from this dude. It probably made his whole day that you were so into it and you wanted him to sign it and everything. And it's like supporting an indie wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, even if you don't know that much about it, you have a show, and it's like, I've done that before where I've seen someone for the first time in like a bar or a high school gym or something. And I'm like, I'll buy a t-shirt. Like, why not? Like, it's $20 or whatever in their pocket. Like they're selling merch. And if this person, I mean, and it's one of those things where I'm always just wearing people's stuff on the show. So every now and then a wrestler will hit me up and be like, some like obscure indie wrestler no one really watches. I'll be wearing their shirt on like Fightful, and they'll be like, dude, thank you so much for wearing that. So yeah, I think I get that same feeling you do, Andrew, when it's like supporting independent artists, people on their grind, people on their come up, and maybe that guy will make it one day. And even if he doesn't, like, that's a good memory for both of you guys.
You want to know what's funny? Like when you said talking about like surprising people and stuff like that on the stream, that kind of reminded me when I saw it on Twitter when Akira had found out that Mox was winning. I know that probably had to be one of the funniest things. I remember I saw that on Twitter. I know he was probably freaking the fuck out because like that's so like. And the funny thing is like I remember I had heard an interview he did, and he said like he wasn't aware of like Mox like buying his stuff. Like he did not know that in the slightest. So like when he got like the notifications and shit, he was just like okay. John Moxley's wearing my hoodie live on TV, and that's definitely a John Moxley thing to do.
Yes, I'm still waiting for him to carry that GCW championship out on AEW TV, but hey, maybe one of these days.
Andrew, before I let you plug everything, I'll put you over one more time. Tell us one last story here. When you unfortunately left Fightful because they had to split us up, otherwise we just shut down all of wrestling news together. When you left, I'm pretty sure the last thing you put in the chat was push Jeremy Lambert. And that was your last message to the chat. And for some reason, Sean Rossap listened. And he listened to the audience. And now I'm doing everything that I'm doing here at Fightful. And again, I owe you so much from everything you taught me from news, whether it was, how to find stuff, how to write stuff, work ethic, as I said, the biggest thing. But you having that endorsement from you as you were leaving, it meant a lot to me that you would say that, because you were leaving. You could have just left and been like, all right, whatever. Good luck to you guys. Fuck off. I'm out of here. But you were always supportive. You're always supportive of me. And that was your last thing. It was like, just push Jeremy. Let him do what he wants. He's great. And I really, really appreciate that. And again, that meant so much to me that was basically your last message to Fightful, was supporting me and everything that I was attempting to do with the site. So thank you for that.
No question, man. You're my dog, man. Of course. I'm gonna look out for you. And I think I think I saw you at StarCast like 3 months.
It's been it was StarCast 2019. It was full gear 2019 was the last time I saw you. Yeah. Then the world shut down, and then
bro, that was like 4 months before that happened. That's fucking crazy. Like, but when you think, bro, hold on. When you think about that, like how crazy that is, like that was like 4 months after the world the 4 months before the world shut down. That's fucking crazy. How time moved like that. But yeah, it was good seeing you, man. And yeah, of course, I'm always support you, Brody. So yeah, and Steven, for sure, man. It was definitely great meeting you too, man. And you do a lot of great podcasts and a lot of great work, and I see your work ethic is fucking through the roof, man. So yeah, much love to you as well.
I appreciate that, and I'm glad that we finally got to do something together, because like I said, I didn't even realize it until you said that at the top of the show when you're like, nice to meet you, and I was like, damn, we have that's weird. I can't believe this is the first time we've done something together.
But I think we've been following each other on Twitter for like 3 years, bro.
Yeah, forever. So yeah, man, no, it was great to do this, man. We really appreciate it.
Andrew, let everyone know where they can find you at.
Yeah, check me out on Twitter at AD Thompson _. I see I got the beautiful graphics here on the
See the double underscore is highlighted there. You can see the little break there.
Man, bro, Way would not let me off the hook with this damn underscore. Man. But I'm telling they give it to me every single time I'm on any type of post podcast. And double underscore things like the running joke. But yeah, they can check out my interviews at Andrew Thompson Interviews YouTube channel. Like whenever I don't have an interview, I try to isolate clips up there. So yeah, go check that stuff out, and check out my ring work at postwrestling.com, and that's about it.
Thank you, buddy. Again, the GOAT, Andrew Thompson. Thank you for your time today. Guys, we'll be right back.